Proxy, and welcome to the proximity. I'm having, oh look, it is glowing, a Disco Elysium adventure. We just moved some bowls about. Let's see if we can find a hole in the world. I've moved the bowls. It was mind-numbingly easy. What next? Great. Everything should be aligned now. She stops biting into her chapped lip. Miss Know-It-All is hesitating. What's wrong? Yeah, she snaps out of the lull. Nothing. Now the only thing left to do is unmute the headphones. If we've got the location right, we should be able to hear whatever the sound this anomaly makes. Wait, why did you have your headphones on mute in the first place? Honestly, he's avoiding your gaze. Honestly, I'm a little scared. Isn't it just going to be silence and nothing else? I don't know. She stares at the heart of her computer. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, what sound does nothing make? How can you even listen to something that doesn't exist? She turns to face you. The mainframe showing shadows on her chin. What if silence is only what surrounds it? The swallow itself is. She grows silent, her face very pale in the cold light of electricity. But I don't know, I'm just scared. Maybe it's going to be something terrifying. Maybe it's going to tear the world apart. Like that evil ink that filled the printout, erasing coherence and meaning. You're overthinking this. Maybe. Rubs her face. Maybe I'm just tired. Think about this logically. Why would nothing be terrifying if it's, well, nothing? Why assume that something that has no presence, existence, or qualities has to be terrifying? Because it reminds us of death. We humans tend to think that death is pretty scary. It is scary, but we just have to face it. Yeah. She breathes in. You're right, let's do it. She puts on her oversized headphones, ready to press the unmute on the keyboard. The lieutenant takes a step back, and then nothing. Nothing happens as sooner Lieutenant Kilday presses unmute on her keyboard. Nothing but silence. You can hear some small animal cross the floor in the chancel? It's that quiet in the sanctuary. Say nothing. She doesn't talk. Her eyes closed and brows knitted together in a state of deep focus, one hand cupping their headphone. Well, damn it. She lets out a loud sigh before tearing off her headphones. She's still avoiding her gaze. Well, at least the world seems to still be alright. Yeah, he says, disappointed. Nothing happened. Let's move on. Despite her fear, she was hoping for something extraordinary to take place. What do you mean, nothing happened? Did you find the swallow? No. She rests her face on her hands, massaging her forehead. No, my hypothesis was wrong. According to this, I should have heard something, if I got the coordinates right. Like I said, silence is only what surrounds it. But this... She raises her head, staring at all the machines that litter the church. Cables coiling up on the floor like pests. This is just another failure. Silence sounds like silence. That's all it is. You can try on the headphones, see if you can hear anything, but don't get your hopes up. Silence is silence. You're sure there's more to it. This can't be. You should have a listen. I'm helping Egghead with his jam and that's somehow helping me. Perception, hearing, legendary. Put on the headphones. Yes! Everything disappears. You are draped in silence like a drowning man, staring into his puny little headspace. Then the pressure changes. What does it mean? Feels like flying on an aerostatic, when your ears pop, or like a subtle difference in the atmosphere, a weather change and hanging in the air. What if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it? Sooner. Take off the headphones. What if we just need a better sound system? Better sound system, she repeats. Alright, where would we get one? Suddenly a rhythmic beat permeates the walls, causing a small patch of decorative stucco crumble onto the wooden floor. We should really allocate some renovation funds to this place, murmurs the lieutenant, inspecting the damage done to the arabesques. No. What they really should do is shut down the disco men for disturbing neighborhood peace. Yes, but they can help with the speakers. You mean the speed freaks? She closes her eyes as dance music invades the holy silence of the sanctuary. Of course, the speed freaks. They have a fantastic sound system. You think they would help me? They would, if you wouldn't mind them moving in with you. I guess I could live through a week or two of peaceful coexistence. Brilliant, negotiating there, detective, as always. Great, I'll go talk to them. Sure, let me know how it goes. She lingers for a moment before adding, thanks, officer. I feel like this has nothing to do with anything in the game. Like, how is I supposed to help with the missing person or the murder? I have no idea, but like, it's like the most important thing to me right now. There's a hole in the world and we need to hear it. Took a sip right at the wrong time there. Seems important though. A hole in the world.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Good news! I've managed to convince Suna she's okay with you guys moving in, but on one condition. She needs your speakers for her project. Speed Freak smiles, happier than he's ever been before. We are grateful, Cubman. You are an augury of a new era of anodic dance music. You're going to have to share space for a couple of weeks until she gets her research finished. That's fine, we can manage. He grins, excited. I've got to make a decision! I might even have to pause and make a cup of tea. I'm a cop, I should be... Like, I'm not arresting him, clearly. I mean, what is dance music without drugs? You know what I mean? And it'd be pretty hypocritical for him. We're pretty good everywhere else, and they seem somewhat harmless. I appreciate the speed is actually dangerous and people die, but... Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to just set up a drug lab. I need them to make the music. It's important. Okay, fine. I'm going to turn a blind eye. Side business? And I don't know what you're talking about. Turn a blind eye. Of course. Give you an knowing nod. I meant the bar, obviously. Why am I even talking about this? Andre grins as if that settles it. It's going to take a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, maybe. Come check back later. He waves to the other speed freaks. Let's get going. I haven't spoken to Egg yet.
Yes?
Yes, what is it?
How's the project going? I see all the neighbours have moved in. but all I hear is anodic dance music. What? She leans closer. Her eyes knitted together in a puzzled expression. What did you say? You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of anodic dance music. I said, how's the project going? I can't hear you, she shouts, pointing at the enormous speaker that's turning out the loud. The music's too loud. The project! How's it going? Oh, the project! Her face lights up for a second before she gives you an exaggerated headshake. It's not going well! Why? There's that guy! She points at Egghead, who's raving behind the turntables on the brightly lit stage. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route if you prefer, the audio signal through the mixer into the speaker. Why don't you just ask him? He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about the hardcore and the Yeko Carter and the place to pee. Apparently, I'll tell him to see what I can do. Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes. She does jazz hands to mock him. Right. What's that?
DeLorean Church! The place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Large speakers are set up behind the young man, blasting a familiar song. Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church. A hawthorn tree en rue de Seine, Glyslane tangled in the branches. Something bronze flutters in the wind. Ooh, could that be the tape? Hawthorn tree en rue de Seine, Glyslane. Stands on the stage behind the table, nodding along to the music and waxing his head in the air, waving his head in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. On the other, the reel is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you can see an auxiliary line in the number 4.5 written to it. Egg, can you please route Suna's signal through your speakers? To the Mega, yeah! You get serious. I can route it through the auxiliary. What kind of cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5? It's 4.5, no doubt about it. It's on the ground. Point to it. Oh, she uses 3.5. Uncomfortable pause follows. Yeah, the auxiliary line is 4.5 millimeters. The two don't mix. Oh no. Lieutenant closes his eyes. We're going to be in this church forever. Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here. He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up, looking at the jack. Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good people. With a grin, he sticks the plug into the auxiliary line and you hear a satisfying click. Whoa! Thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade with sound quality. Great, someone got through to him. Okay, please get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please? Egg, the music. Everybody, don't panic. I'm going to turn off the Arno for just a sec. The young man shouts as he clicks a switch on the mixer for a special scheduled event. The Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. He turns to you. All right, go tell her that the Egghead is ready to rave on her tunes. And then I'll turn off the music. How'd you like it in the church? Yeah! Back on the case. No disgrace. He pumps his fists in the air. Bring it down to the party place. The first page of the second chapter. His voice echoes all around the grand hall. Could it be, maybe for him, you only have a chapter or two left in you? Last of the penultimate, more like. Alright, goodbye, Egghead.
Yes, what is it?
Right, I've talked to Egghead. He's plugged in the cables. You can now unmute your speakers. Okay, but... She seems hesitant. Her eyes still fixed on Egghead. Think you can ask him to turn the volume down just a bit, just in case? Maximum! Shouts Egghead, a great smile still adorning his face, larger than the red dwarf star. Maximum is the only way! I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance, and just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay? Pump it to the brick, pump it to the hard master. There is no other way, glue style. Glue style? Okay, there's literally no other way. The mixing desk is glued to maximum. See, she turns to you, ready to give up. He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless. I think what Egghead is trying to say is that the volume button is stuck on maximum. Of course it is, she shrugs, consigned to her fate. Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound! Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready? She looks around the church. Egghead pumps his hands up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop. Born ready, says Andre. Ready, yells Noid. Finally, Sally turns to face you and Kim. I'm ready if you two are, detectives. Lieutenant nods stoically. Suddenly your palms are sweaty, eyes deep, mum's spaghetti. I don't know the lyrics! The church seems cold and large. Hold on for a moment. What? I was going to talk to the crab man. Never mind, let's do this. I'm ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute, disengaged. He lifts a hand from the keyboard. Complete silence fills the room. No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In silence, you see the dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. The song inside you. Not in the speakers, not in the room. Great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly it builds till the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything. Floorboards, the glass, the streets, and the people. Nothing will remain. Guys, what's going on? There's alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. Light rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus. This fragile world is about to break. It's getting louder, says Noise, his eyes riveted on the strange circle of water basins. In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling. Hoisana, mother of Mega! You hear Egghead yell and something else. His voice is growing faint. In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing the entire coastline is on its way. Salvation. Electro-chemistry. He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on. I've never heard anything this hardcore in my life. The beauty and the beat. The future of dance. Planetary. No, Egg. It's the window. The glass shards around Dolores Day's vacant heart appears to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks like she's alive. In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route. The window is going to come down. No, the roof. She looks up. A screech fills the air. A scream of wooden nails. The pillar and the church twist and creak above and around you. Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars of the dark. Come down to us, love! It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists. Great pulse arises in your flesh. That's it. Muting it. Yeah, we should stop. Sooner mute it. Shit, it doesn't stop. The woman is furiously pressing down on the keyboard, but it doesn't stop. Asele, have you? Yeah, I've turned it off, she yells, holding the contact mic in her hand. Andre, pull the compressor, the place is gonna come down. Fuck. Andre frantically spashes buttons. I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here, it's in the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault in the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down. Egghead, it's in the desk. And then it stops, totally and utterly, as if there was never a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everyone's staring at Egghead, holding a tangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector. Egg. I pulled the plug, he says calmly. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Andre breathes a sigh of relief and inspects the window. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fuck. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that. 4 years. The woman whispers. 22 people, millions of real. All that time, this is what they were up against. Just erased it. Her lips trembles. Sulaslaw isn't going to believe this. But did you record it, though? It was dope. I think we can use it. Yes, Andre. She composes herself, wipes the dust off her sweater and rests her hands on the keyboard. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. She turns to you. I don't know what we discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start. Kim, did you hear that? It was very hard not to. I think you're right. He turns to the woman. There is something going on here, and you need to be very careful with it. I promise, officer, we will not play it again. What was that? I've never heard anything like that. It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as waveform. That's what it was, technically, theoretically. She shakes her head. I have no idea. I've never heard anything like this. Her voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting to the exposure. You're going to write Sulaslaw? Oh, yes. I'll lead designer, and maybe some of the producers too. Some of the writers, if they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear that it wasn't her fault, or theirs. They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording, though I doubt they will have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway. What happens now? Are you going to conclude? Stay here. She cuts you off. Her deft fingers already on the keyboard. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters. Maybe meet Sulaslaw. Also devise further measurements. I want you to know that's totally chill with us. I don't care, she blurts, then reconsiders. But thank you anyway. That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot, in truth, for her, at least. Now, hands move on the keyboard. I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind. Yes. We'll have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Weaves out, trying to shake off tension, instead of demolishing it with a loud bass noise of the unknown origins. Some tiny thing lets go in your stomach. Just some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for this. Somewhere deep in you, you know. The person you were knows. Because I'm a cop of the apocalypse! Logic, godly. It's a white check, so I can retry it. Heard of the doomed commercial area, investigated it, and I'm a cop of the apocalypse. Logic. You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago. Sorry, the bass, the sheer bass, it's overwhelmed me. Wait, how? These thoughts formed in you somewhere. Long forgotten discussion behind a kitchen table in the evening light. Drinking coffee and smoking with a friend. And a woman, she was there too. Her hair smelled of shampoo. She was smoking. Sooner, it is the origin point of the pail. What? Swallow. It's how it starts. The baby pail. But she looks up. There's fear in her eyes as she considers the possibility. The pail isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge. No. Look up first. We're 20 meters from the very edge. She looks up into the darkness under the nave and back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. Lieutenant's too. Takes his glasses off. The pail is only an effect. A transition between the world and that. Then what is that? It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No. It's less than nothing. The final rest state for reality. Imagine if all this ever was. And the pail is simply a gradient? But the gradient clearly hasn't started yet. We're here and the pail is not. One day, when it's larger, it will be. I understand. She closes her eyes. A theory of the pail where, instead of the outer ocean, it metastasizes like a cancer or a mold, erupting in points inside the world. This is one of those places. She's silent for a second. Then she opens her mouth. According to this, how long? Till it starts swallowing? It's already started. Started with sound. And information. He nods. Causing data loss. The East Enchilada in front. Have you ever considered why it formed in a church? And also, when or how it might start growing? Or if it has other effects, in addition to sound and data. An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside. I also have a question. Since we're piling on them, how do you know this? I'm not doubting you, he explains. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM... He didn't form in a church formed around it. Of course, Pinewood sarcophagus, or, she looks for words, containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers. Yes, acting on an instinctual level, or religious practices we've forgotten. I've considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 Pinewood churches built in the first decade of Revachol settlement. I can't believe the apocalypse is real! That's a sentence, isn't it? Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in, but some of them might. Black grain hanging in the air. All the failed businesses in the doomed commercial area. All the failure in Martinez. You think the presence of the puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even, say, software development. She's already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great, uncaring force has played a part. It wasn't only them. Even the revolution was defeated here. I mean, a kind of entrepreneuric history. I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities, but no! The artists like the milieu. The writers like the history. She shakes her head. I told them. I should let people still working in there know about this. They might be affected. You mean placements in the dice maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up. Guess both of them deserve to know. And go tell them. She smiles, suddenly encouraging. It really was doomed. This has nothing to do with the case. I think I've had this thought before. That's how I know. An amateur entrepreneutic police officer. No, it's entropy. So entrepreneutic. Entreprenetic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add. Yes, it is very interesting, but I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess, and that is going to have to be proved by entreprenetic scientists. Conclude. One day, all the world will be like that 2mm hole. She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist. I'm going to have to leave that out. For the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but... Ma'am, you will certainly sound mad. He shrugs. One more thing. Maybe a club for melodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space. The club is the only thing keeping this place and the rest of reality together. I wouldn't go so far as to... Yeah! Once the light is on the universe, it will never go out! Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an unentrepreneutic detection to perform in this district. I do have one mystery that still needs solving. The radio ghost in the doorbell's commercial area's electronic doorbell. Creepy woman. She slaps her forehead. We were wondering about that when we worked there, but completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be entreprenetic crosstalk. The one you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense, with Pale right on the doorstep. Incredible. Lieutenant murmurs. This would also explain why we get it on police radio all the time. In troponetic crosstalk. It's quite common, actually, when the signal gets routed through the pale. All kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago. Pale is the shroud of memories, and it doesn't really distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything. It makes sense. Thanks for explaining that to me. Anytime, she smiles. Right, I'll let you work in peace now. We have a fort. Cleaning out the rooms. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately, looking for something, tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams, putting old pains to boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while. A spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark, fluttering of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises only to disappear again. Yet there's a pattern emerging.
Good morning, comrade! Yeah!
Oh yeah, because he's a communist. Whoa, that was a crazy sound we heard before. Yeah, it was awesome and scary, very hardcore. His voice booms through the chamber and then gets silent. Too hardcore, in fact. He brushes his hand through his hair. I couldn't control it at all. What happened? It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and then everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme. Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse. The horn of the apocalypse. It draweth near. Yeah! Welcome to the Gloaming! He grins. Oh, we've got an episode title. Gloaming is Twilight, I think, or Dawn. One of the two. Is there anything else we can do about that? Ooh! His mind is seemingly selecting for options. I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sound the future could make. Sounds like the future could be more hardcore than I ever imagined. Yeah! Okay, we still haven't found a tape, but there's a tree, and I've got to have a look at the tree.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
He looks around the hall, examining the carpentry. With wonder in his sharp eyes.
I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority, but you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
He spreads his arms, looking around the speedfreaks setting it up shop. Audrey is cutting some slightly less lame but quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Sele is using a contact mic to listen to the tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while stained glass window behind him rattling from the base. Sire, the tent. 'Twas a security risk. Security risk, and in here, sanctuary. 'Twas noble of you. I'm a corrupt cop. Okay, so these kids got spunk, I admire that. That's sort of actually why I did that. Better here than a tent. Shrug, it wasn't safe. Genuinely into the hardcore lifestyle you wouldn't understand. I'm not going to say corrupt. I did it for mankind. For all mankind.
Okay.
The lieutenant keeps it laconic. What's with the clothes? They're hardcore. You look like a woman with those earrings. You know what I think? I think man, woman and child are arbitrary divisions which serve to blind humanity to serfdom. That's it. It's just clothes. I thought there'd be more to it. No, it's just the vest of suspenders made to resemble a human ribcage, plus some lady clothes to piss off the sex system. Points to your necktie. Now tell me about that hardcore necktie. It's fucking primal. Look at your necktie suspiciously. What's so hardcore about it? Looks like you're trying to hang yourself with it. So large too, like many patterns. It's crazy, man. I like it. You suddenly realise the patience and respect the speed freak has shown you is partly because of your style. He's probably not like that with everyone. Respect to the man! Lloyd, what do you think about the church? It's a miracle of carpentry, dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now, it could be something more. He rubs his hand together. How old do you think this church is? Over 300 years old? That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Which was one of the first things they did. They must really be scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves in nature, pre-industrial quantities of solitude, the sea, perhaps something more fundamental. You mean something paranatural, you must. I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well. The voice echoes in the wooden cavern of the church. Something more fundamental? You mean the sound anomaly? Maybe. He looks up under the rafters. Maybe we're unable to face the nature of the world. Perishing. What do you mean by dead bodies? Dead bodies of perennial plants, he taps on the wood. Stigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. Spiritual collapse? I saw some piglets suckling on their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? He continues without waiting for an answer. After a short while they shuddered and went away. It sensed that she could no longer see them, that she wasn't like them anymore, that what they loved in their mother wasn't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is a high-quality carcass. He kicks the floorboards. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. First, where's the quote from? A Saray's man who lived a long time ago, an ancient hardcore brother. Are you saying you're not a bigger fan of the inocentric system? 3,000-year-old tyrannical regime of history, built and maintained by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. He looks around. It's false core. The way he says it, the false in false core is invested with 20 kilotons of disgust. But you said the ecclesiastics were all about love and hardcore before, remember? I only said unity, one word. Figures of authority always misquote you, points to his friends. Andre doesn't care about the ecclesiastics. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. Egghead is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are. And you propose dance music will supplant this system? Anodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough. Yes, I do. You know what kind of... You know what kind of... this kind of stuff goes well with? Don't you have to be on drugs for that, though? Only a little. Cool. It's a necessity. All large human gatherings are narcotic. It's just the way of the spinal cord. The Lieutenant interjects. There is a difference between narcotics and group elation. One kills you, the other does not. Supercharged humanism and the inocentric system has been feeding us on giant city squares. That's not a drug. The sugar wheat... He doesn't say wheat, does he? Sugar wheat feeds us is healthy? Forget it. He waves his hand. It would become an imbecilic discussion. You two continue. It's more hardcore that way. Aw, I'm disappointing him. What style is this church built in? A cop who's into building critique. Taps the floorboard. Okay, this is folk DeLoreanism. Lawmongerer, a subset of early DeLorean architecture. I'm not just a cop, I'm an art cop. Hard of core, he nods appreciatingly. Okay, and what is DeLorean architecture? Like, total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just the homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? What would a DeLorean building look like? Like that woman over there, she nods. He nods towards the stained glass window. Vertical, thin, white, false image of grandeur. Source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures, arches, spires, put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know, marriage shit, virtue and trinity and tyranny. Church isn't painted white as far as I can tell. Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside. He peeks out of the small window in the dark, before the sea wind took all the paint off. Year after year, flake after flake, whitewashed clean, then covered in green moss. Slowly peeled by the wind, your skin crawls from the sensation as you look around. How'd you like the glasswork? Point to the stained glass window. I don't. He looks over his shoulder. Fucker, give me the evil eye. Getting some real negative vibrations from her too. No wonder, he cracks his neck. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at you. Not a good look for the club. Mellow, man, mellow, yells his friend. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love. Mass murderer on the floor. I do feel there is something terrifying about her. There is. She's a pretty party repellent. Must be taken down before we can begin partying in here. Take her down. Crash it. Destroy that window. Will do. Speedfreak nods and pets the toolbox as if it were a cat. No, Noid. Stop twisting my melon, man. People are gonna love it. It'll be our thing. His friend disagrees. Plus it keeps the cold out. Would you say she was, you know, human? Ha! The young man stretches his ribcage, made of suspenders. I like this question, cop man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who was playing a game, the life of an operator. That's not the life humans live. She was adored, humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. They do not think I'm innocent. Some shit like that. Yeah, they hate this too. Point to yourself. Yeah, well, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot all about the rest of us. The young man lets go of the suspenders and they hit his chest with a slap. But she's pretty. She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters, not iconographers. He turns the face of. Look at her face. You set the standard, all right. Then you meet it. It's effective like that, but it's very soft of core. So many beauty, that so-called beauty of hers. It's anything but softcore. It's terrifying. Huh. The young man nods. He looks worried. Maybe onto something, copper man. She's got those mass murdering hips. Yeah, I'm done talking about her. I don't want to think about her anymore. What a strange choice of words. Caustic, overflowing with negativity. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window? I don't know. Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't keep coming back to this. Stop talking about it, please. How are you settling in? Hard to say, cop man. Signs in here are all distinctively wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to Crabman though. You mean Tiago? Anyway, he's been giving me a kind of a psychic rundown of the place. Dude seems some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us. You mean all this mother's love stuff isn't too spooky for you? Have you been listening to what Eggman's been saying? Love is hardcore, man, and a mother's love is the hardest core of all. The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. I've got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him. I wanted to talk some more about this place. Hang on, no. But don't forget that's there, though, John. What did Tiago tell you about the church? Crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, Ubis built this place around 380 years ago as a sarcophagus. Do you mean there are dead bodies here? Not like a literal sarcophagus, I'm just being metaphorical. What's it for? Encasement, confinement, or something that they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isola. Looks up into the darkness beyond the beams. I think that's what the crab man is experiencing when he climbs around the upstairs. Okay, it's going to be too late for me to talk to the people. Like, this is some old world ship that Ubis had heard about. and thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it to contain it. I don't get it. Contain what exactly? I don't know. Okay, I do know it. And it's not something they properly understood either. What it does, but it's what this Sunya person is looking for, trying to measure. Nods towards the woman. It'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't. Wood creaks as the gale blows by outside. Dust particles fall through the darkness, settling down the age-bleached floorboards. The structure does not feel particularly durable. This building seems less than structurally sound. No, it's pretty fucking unsound if you ask me. They should have built a club for Nordic music around it instead. He grins. Nordic music will definitely contain whatever they were dealing with. His words echo the chamber. And if it can't, he shrugs non-committally. What makes you think Sunya's gonna fail? Seems like the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance. I found a doomed commercial area in the Martinez proper. Maybe it's the same thing the Ubis were trying to contain. The young man rubs his chin in silence, then mumbles, like a concentric ring spreading out, struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail, defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failures gone down around here. You think there's merit to the theory? Shrugs, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. It's not a thing we can answer, cop man. I have limits. I'm a limited side person. Well, if it's without substance, I guess there's nothing to worry about. Maybe you can figure things out, cop man. I think we've gotten a good level here. The signs are syncing up well. Take care, Noid. And take care, everyone else, as I'm going to let you go. I've been John Proxy. We're now leaving the proximity of my... Disco Elysium adventure. Thank you for watching.